Welcome to Science Store online classes.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Hello students, welcome to online CET NEET classes. So we are discussing about electrostatics. Under that we have discussed about charges, and we also checked which kind of question can be appeared under this charge concept. So let's move to the Coulomb's law, right? Let's recall whatever we have learned in our board classes, Coulomb's law, correct? So what this Coulomb's law gives, the law actually states about the force of attraction or repulsion between two static charges. Coulomb's law applicable only to the charges which are at rest. Remember that Coulomb's law is applicable to the charges which are at rest, or which are charges which are not under motion. So Coulomb's law states that the force of attraction or repulsion between two charges separated by a certain distance will be always directly proportional to the magnitude of the charge of magnitude of those two charges, and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So we get the expression for Coulomb's law, or the force, electrostatic force of attraction or repulsion between two charges. Let me consider charge Q1 and Q2 are the magnitude of those two charges, then force of attraction or repulsion between them is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 into Q2 divided by R square, where R is the distance separation between them. There are two charges Q1 and Q2 separated by distance R. Then force, electrostatic force, either it is attraction or it is repulsion, is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 into Q2 divided by R square. So what is this epsilon naught? It is absolute permittivity, or it is permittivity in a free space, correct? Permittivity of air or free space, air or free space. What is the value of this? 8.857 into 10 to the power of minus 12. 8.857 into 10 to the power of minus 12. And what will be the SI unit of it? Coulomb square per Newton meter square. Epsilon naught, value of epsilon naught is this much. Now, what is the value of 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught? That will be constant, right? 1 divided by 4 into 3.142 into 8.857 into 10 to the power of minus 12 will give you 9 into 10 to the power of 9. And what will be the SI unit? Newton meter square per Coulomb square. Newton meter square per Coulomb square, right? Now, so in case this is true, or this is true, when these two charges are in a free space, let's say there is some medium in between those charges. Q1 is placed here, Q2 is placed here, and there is a metal in between them. Okay, there is a metal, dielectric material. We call it as dielectric material. Let's say K is the dielectric constant of that material. Then the permittivity of that material will be, or this medium will be, epsilon. So if epsilon is the permittivity of medium, then there is a quantity called relative permittivity, that is equal to permittivity of the medium divided by permittivity of free space. This is called relative permittivity. So distance separation between them is same. I repeat, two charges are placed in a free space. Then this will be the force of electrostatic force between them. Now, in between these two charges, or in the gap or separation between these two charges, I place another material called dielectric material, whose dielectric constant is K, and the permittivity of that material or that medium is epsilon. Then the force between them will be 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into epsilon r into q1 q2 divided by r square. What is epsilon naught into epsilon r? That is epsilon r is nothing but relative permittivity, that is equal to epsilon divided by epsilon naught. Or other words, you can say that this is the force in free air, this is in air, this is the force in medium. So F in air divided by F in medium is also relative permittivity. What about the K value? K is equal to 1 for air and K is greater than 1 for dielectric medium, and K is equal to infinity for any metal. So dielectric medium idu K will be greater than 1 and it will be infinity for the any metal. It will be infinity for any metal. So K is called as dielectric constant. So now these two charges Q1 and this is Q2, distance separation between them is R. Okay? Q1 will apply force on Q2. Let me call it as F12. Q2 will apply force on Q1. Let me call it as F21. Now F12 is equal and opposite to F21. Q1 will apply force on Q2 if I call it as F12. Q2 will also apply force on Q1 if I call it as F21. They are equal. They will be equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. If F12 is this, F21 will be this. So what will be the magnitude of it? The magnitude of F12 is equal to magnitude of F21, that will be is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Let's say this is in air medium or free space, Q1 into Q2 divided by R square. The force, electrostatic force between two charges is this, which is equal and opposite to the force by one charge on the other. Now, what is electrostatic force? Whether it is attractive or repulsive. If Q1 is positive, Q2 is also positive, then this is repulsive force. If Q1 is negative, Q2 is also negative, then it is repulsive force. Q1 is positive, Q2 is negative, then it is attractive force. Q2 is positive, Q1 is negative, it will be attractive force. So, if these two charges are like charges, then electrostatic forces are repulsive. If these two charges are unlike charges, electrostatic forces are attractive. See, now both are positive, so Q1 will repel Q2. So force applied by Q1 on Q2 will be this. Q2 will repel Q1. So repelling means it is pushing away. So force applied by Q2 on Q1 is this. Isn't it equal and opposite? Correct. Now Q1 is positive, Q2 is negative. See, Q1 is positive, Q2 is negative. Obviously, Q1 will attract Q2, means it will pull it towards it. Q1 will pull the Q2 charge towards it. So, force will be this, correct? Pulling the charge towards it. This is F12. Q2 will also pull Q1. So, this is your F21. Again, they are opposite, correct? So, charge by force by one charge on the other will be always equal and opposite. And this is central force, and it obeys Newton's third law. So, Coulomb force is a central force and it obeys Newton's third law. What is Newton's third law? For every action there will be equal and opposite reaction, and it is analogous to Newton's law of gravitation. You know what is Newton's law of gravitation, correct? So, gravitational force G is equal to m1 into m2 divided by r square times of gravitational constant. So, this is analogous to the Newton's. So, this is very similar to that, correct? Newton's gravitational law states that the gravitational force between two bodies is equal to G times of m1 and m2 divided by r square. Electrostatic force states that F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 into Q2 divided by r square. This is constant, so you can say Fg is directly proportional to m1 m2 by r square. Fe is directly proportional to Q1 Q2 divided by r square. So they have consistency with each other, right? So yeah, and what about see, there are two charges. They are separated by a distance. Let me erase this. They are separated by a distance r. Okay, there are two charges and they are separated by distance r. Then the force, electrostatic force between them is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 into Q2 divided by r square. Now they brought in contact. Q1 and Q2 were separated by distance r. Now they brought in contact and again separated to the same distance. When they are separated to the same distance, their force won't be same as the before. The force, electrostatic force between them won't be same as the before. Earlier they were separated, Q1 and Q2 were separated r. Next you will bring in contact, Q1 and Q2 will bring together and again separated to the same distance, Q1, Q2 to the same distance. At this time the force between them will be different and ratio of these two forces, F dash by F, ratio of these two forces will be is equal to Q1 plus Q2 whole square divided by 4Q1 Q2. Q1 plus Q2 whole square divided by 4 times of Q1 Q2. 4 times of Q1 Q2. Then what will be your F dash? What will be your F dash? So you can find out, right? F dash is equal to Q1 plus Q2 whole square by 4 Q1 into Q2 into F 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by r square. Q1 Q2 gets cancelled. So what do you get? Q1 plus Q2 whole square 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught divided by 4 r square. What is this? Q1 plus Q2 whole square. What is this? Can you write it as Q1 plus Q2 by 2 whole square 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into 1 by or by 2r whole square, correct? So this will be your F dash 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 plus Q2 by 2R whole square. So this is the force when they are brought in contact and separated again. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 plus Q2 whole square by 2R whole square. So happens. So that's strange that two charges when they were already separate, F is the force 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 into Q2 by R square. Now they brought in contact and again separated to the same separation, but now the force is different. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 plus Q2 by 2R whole square. So their ratio will be this much. The force after separation by force before separation is equal to this much. Yes, now another scenario. So there are two charges, okay. Now there are two charges, Q1 and Q2. The distance separation between them is R. Distance separation between them is R. What is the force between them? F is equal to 1 by, they are in air, correct? 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. Now what I do is, in between those two I place a dielectric medium. In the distance separation between those two I place a dielectric medium. Let's say its dielectric constant is K and this thickness is T. T is the thickness. Okay. There are two charges like this. Now they are in air. This is the force between them. Now in this gap, in between this gap, I place a small dielectric, I place a dielectric material. This thickness of that material, here is one charge, here is one charge. So thickness of this material is T and dielectric constant is K. Now what is the force between them? The force between them is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 into Q2 divided by R minus T plus T into root K whole square. Means when you place the dielectric medium here, right, this R will change. What is that change in the R? That is the initial separation, the actual separation R minus the thickness of the material placed plus thickness times of its dielectric constant. So when you place a dielectric material between two charges, right, the distance separation will change. The change in the distance separation will be this much. Change in the distance separation will be this much. Now what is test charge? Test charge means particle with unit charge, 1 coulomb of charge. Any particle having 1 coulomb of charge is called test charge. So usually test charge is always considered as a positive charge. Why do we need a test charge? We need a test charge so that it would not affect the magnitude of any other charges. Here is one charge here. I want to know what is the charge of it. I place a test charge here so that I can measure the charge of it, or I can measure the electric field of it. So now this test charge wouldn't change the magnitude of this, because electrostatic force between them will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 into 1, because Q2 here is test charge divided by distance separation. So test charge is a charge with the unit magnitude, or its charge will be always 1 coulomb. So this is about your Coulomb's law. Let's solve some problems under this concepts, whatever I have discussed, the new concepts here other than the board concepts. So we'll try to solve, or we'll try to tackle the problems which fall under these formulas. Well students, let's solve some of the problems on the Coulomb's law. So let's move to the first problem. A charge Q is divided into two parts. There is one charge Q, it is divided into two parts. If I break this, it will become two parts, right? Similarly, a charge is divided into two parts, Q and Q minus Q. Okay, there is one charge is divided into two parts. So one part will be Q, another part will be Q minus small letter q. Okay, and separated by a distance r. What is the distance separation between them? These two charges, Q and Q minus Q. These two are separated by a distance r. R is the distance separation between them. The force of repulsion between them will be maximum. Now, you should find out the force of repulsion. They are static charge, but what? They said it is maximum. See, what is force of repulsion between them? What is force of repulsion? Is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q into Q minus Q divided by R square. This is the force of repulsion between them. But now since they said it is maximum force of repulsion between them, see, remember always, I did not mention this in synopsis, maximum force will be always the differentiation of this force, or when the force is maximum, differentiation of that maximum force with respect to the charge will be 0. Differentiation of that maximum force with respect to the charge is 0 when the force is maximum. Remember this. Whenever they mention maximum force in the question, should know that differentiation of that maximum force with respect to the charge is equal to 0. Now find out differentiation of force with respect to the charge is equal to differentiation of 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q into Q minus Q divided by R square. Am I correct? Yes. Now these terms are constant. I can take it outside. So this should be is equal to 0 according to the concept. Okay. Now differentiation of force with respect to charge is equal to, when these things are taken outside, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into R square, differentiation of Q square minus Q into small q with respect to charge. Am I right? Yes. Now this should be is equal to 0. Now if I bring these terms to right hand side, it is 0. So take it 0. What is the differentiation of this? dq square with respect to dq minus differentiation of q into q divided by dq. What they are asking, the options are given. Q is equal to q by 4, q is equal to q by 2, q is equal to 2, q is equal to 2q. So now this should be is equal to 0. 2q minus q is equal to 0. 2q minus small q, it should be small letter q, right, is equal to 0. So what is q is equal to? That's equal to 2 times of q. Yes students, let's solve some of the problems under Coulomb's law. Let's move to the question. A charge q, there is one charge. What is the charge? Q is divided into two parts. One is q, that is small letter q, and q minus q, obviously, right? So there is one charge here, so that is q. It is divided into two parts. So this is divided into two parts. Charge of this part is small letter q. Then what will be the charge of this part? Whole is capital Q, then charge of this should be q minus q. Correct? Okay. They are separated by distance r. Okay. There is a q here and there is q minus small q here. Distance separation between them is r. What is the force, electrostatic force between them? Electrostatic force between them is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q into q minus q divided by r square. Am I correct? Okay. The force of repulsion between them will be maximum. They are saying force, this electrostatic force will be maximum when if q should be q by 4, if q should be q by 2, if q is q, q will be 2 pi. Generally you think this is one whole charge, this is capital Q charge, and this will break into two parts. This is small q, this is q minus q. When this will experience maximum electrostatic force, either these should be of equal, right? The value of this charge should be equal to value of this. What is the value of this? Q. What should be the value of this? Q by 2. Q is the value of total charge. When they were whole, when it was whole, the charge of this whole thing was capital Q. If the other part is half of the whole value, then the force of repulsion between them is maximum. I hope I am making, you are able to follow me. If a whole thing is break into two parts and if you are asked when the force between them is maximum, it's by default, or anybody can say that, when both the parts will have same charge. So what is that same charge both the part can have? That is half of. What was the whole thing? Q. What will be half of? Q by 2, Q by 2. So what should be the answer according to our logical thinking? This should be the answer. Correct? Mathematically, how will you prove it? So you should always remember, when the electrostatic force, whether it is attraction or repulsion, is maximum, when the electrostatic force is maximum, differentiation of that force with respect to that charge is equal to maximum. 0. Remember always, when electrostatic force is maximum, here it is repulsion, even if it is attraction, if the force between the two charges are maximum, then differentiation of that force with respect to any one of the charge is equal to 0. Now, if this term tends to 0 and if we get this answer, then the answer is whatever the logical thinking we made, that is right. Correct? We'll do that. Differentiation of force with respect to charge. What is force here? This is the force. Differentiation of 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q into q minus q divided by r square with respect to charge is equal to 0. This is constant term, you can take it outside. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Don't You don't need to do it in step by step, you can directly differentiate that. So just to make it understanding to you, q into q minus q with respect to q is equal to this. If you bring this term to right hand side, that becomes 0. Now only differentiation of this part is differentiation of q into q with respect to q minus differentiation of q square with respect to q is equal to 0. What is differentiation of q into q? That is q. Minus what is differentiation of q square? That is 2q is equal to 0. 2q is equal to q. So q is equal to q by 2. We get the answer. So answer is option B. So here in this question or in this type of question, two things you should remember always. One is direct thinking. So they are asking if the force of repulsion between them will be maximum when q is equal to what? They are asking what is the value of that q, small q is equal to. What is small q? If one charge is divided into two parts, small q is the charge of one part. So the force of repulsion or force of attraction will be maximum only if these two parts are having same charge. So what is the total charge of that? Capital Q. Then what should be the equal charge of equal two parts? Half of it, Q by 2. So or else you want to go with the mathematical steps, then since it is maximum repulsion force, differentiation of the force should be 0. Differentiation of force with respect to rate of change of force with respect to charge should be 0. So differentiate the force between them, you will and equate it to 0, then you will get the value of q. I hope you are getting this. Let's move to the next problem. An electron is moving. If you make the logical thinking here, it doesn't require more than 2-3 seconds. Correct? Okay. Next question number 2. An electron is moving round the nucleus. Electron is a negatively charged particle. So here is a nucleus and electron is moving round the nucleus of a hydrogen atom. So in hydrogen atom, how many protons are there? There is one proton. At the nucleus there is one proton. Okay. So one proton is there and one electron is revolving. So one electron is moving around the nucleus of hydrogen atom. You should know in hydrogen atom only one proton is there in a circular orbit of radius r. What is the radius? What is the radius of the circular orbit? R. So if radius of the circular orbit of electron is r, then that r is the distance separation between proton and electron. Understood? Okay. The Coulomb force between the two is, options are given and also given that k is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. In options you have k, which means 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Remember, this is a proton which is positively charged particle. This is an electron which is negatively charged particle, and distance separation between them is nothing but radius of the orbit in which electron is revolving. Then what is the electrostatic force between them? So from Coulomb's law, electrostatic force between them is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 into q2 by r square. Here 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is k. Correct? K is the 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught value. What is q1? q1 is charge of proton. What is charge of proton? That is plus e. Okay. What is q2? q2 is charge of electron. What is the charge of electron? Minus e. Correct? Minus e. And what is r? R is the distance separation. R is the radius. So r is r. Now F is equal to minus k into e square by r square. Do we have that answer? No. We also have one more term, that is vector. Okay, here r is the distance separation. If r cap is the unit vector, I can write it as force is equal to, vector form of force is equal to minus k e square divided by r square into r cap. Correct? R cap is the unit vector along the radius. Do we have that answer? No. We have plus k here. We have minus k e square r cap, but it is r cube. So other two options do not have r cap. So what shall we do? What is r cap? What is a cap is equal to? A cap is vector a divided by magnitude of a. So what is r cap is equal to? Vector r divided by magnitude of r. So your force should be is equal to, vector form of force should be is equal to, all the options are in a vector form, it is understood, minus k into e square, r cap is vector r by r, here already we have r square into r is nothing but r cube. Do we have this option? It should be in C and D, because option A and B are having r cap, so we don't have that answer. Option C, k, that is plus. Option D is minus. So minus k e square vector r divided by r cube. Correct, right? Option D is the right answer. Again, it don't need, or it doesn't require more than 30 seconds, because you won't spend time in explaining, you will be doing it on your own. So read the question, you know the charges, force is equal to k into e into minus e divided by r square. So this will be e square minus, check the answer, we don't have, so then convert it into vector form, r cap, check the answer, we don't have, then r cap, write it as vector r by r, so r into r cube, check the answer, you have the answer. So less than 30 seconds is enough when you do this problem. Moving to the third question, 2 point charges repel each other with the force of 100 Newton. Okay, there are 2 point charges, let's say Q1 and Q2. Q1 and Q2 are the 2 point charges. What is the force between them? 100 Newton. So force between them is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 into Q2 divided by r square. Correct? So this is equal to 100 Newton. That's what the question is given. Force of repulsion between them according to Coulomb's law is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 into Q2 by r square, which is equal to 100 Newton. Okay, let's proceed. One of the charges increased by 10%. If the charge of this is Q1, it is increased by 10%. What is 10% increase? Increase in 10% means what? If the charge is 100%, if the charge is 100, let's consider both are having 100% charge. Its charge increased by 10% means 110 divided by 100. Do you agree with that? The charge was 100% initially. Now I increase it, means it will become 110. So 110 divided by 10 is nothing but 10% increase in the charge. And other is reduced by 10%. We are considering that both are having a charge 100 and 100 initially. So Q1 is increased by 10%. Q1 is increased by 10% means 110 divided by 100. Q2 is decreased by 10%. So this is increased by 10%, this is decreased by 10%, means 90 divided by 100. I hope you are understanding this. Let's say Q1 had 100 charges, 100 coulomb of charge or whatever. Q2 also had same amount of charge and the force between them is 100 Newton. Now Q1 is increased by 10%. What is 10% increase in the charge? 10% increase in a charge means 100 will become 110. Am I correct? So 100 will become 110. So since it is percentage, 110 divided by 10, 100. So Q2 is decreased by 10%. It was 100 earlier, now it is 90. So 90 divided by 100, because this is in percentage, we want the answer. So that should be converted, 10% should be converted. Here also decreasing 10% should be converted. So 100 is a random number, you can take any other number also. Okay. Now this is the new charge of Q1 and Q2. This is Q1 dash, this is Q2 dash, new charge. So they are asking, reduced by 10%, the new force of repulsion at the same distance would be. If distances are, now what is the new force of repulsion? Q1 dash, here Q2 dash, distance is same. What is the new force of repulsion? New force of repulsion is, it will be F dash, that is equal to F into, that is the earlier force, correct, into these charges. What is that charge? 110 divided, this divided by 100 into 90 divided by 100. So you will get F times of 99 divided by 100. What is that answer? F is 100, 100 into, F is 100 Newton, right? 99 by 100. So 99 Newton is the new charge. 99 Newton is the new charge. So 99 Newton means the force is, 99 Newton is the new force. So force is decreased here. The electrostatic repulsion between charges are decreased. Actually you are not making any difference, right? If you think logically, Q1 is increased by 10%, Q2 is decreased by 10%. So are you, initially they were Q1 and Q2, now Q1 is increased by 10% and Q2 is decreased by 10%, but their force will reduce by one value, 1 Newton. It was 100 Newton, now it is 99 Newton. So, or else in other term you can say that the new force will be 99 by 100 times of earlier force. New force will be 99 by 100 times of earlier force. So this is the problems related to Coulomb's law. There are a lot of problems we will discuss while discussing the worksheet. So yes, these are the major problems about which I wanted to discuss under this concept. Thank you.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.